Some major news right now. The massive economic blackout for tomorrow on Mayday, May 1st, is growing exponentially. Cities across America are preparing for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people refusing to shop, work, do anything in a major act of protest against what we are seeing in America. Tomorrow's day of action is based off of the one-day day of action in Minnesota we saw earlier this year following the ICE murders. But now it's being expanded to cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, cities in Arizona, Charlottesville, Virginia, and across the country. Teachers are not showing up for work. In some communities, schools are telling their students, we don't have the teachers, stay home. Organizers are telling folks, do not spend money tomorrow. No school, no work, no shopping. That's the motto. Unions are on board. Even many businesses are on board, allowing employees not to come to work. And they're making a clear message. Workers over billionaires. Spread the word. Let me know if you're participating. Follow for more.
Mayday, Mayday. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why the American people are doing this. I mean, right now, we're living in some very precarious times. A whole lot of uncertainty out there. You got a lot of converging news stories that really express just how far the country has slipped. And it's not looking too good. America is officially in its collapse status. And we're seeing it. I could very easily tell you that it's about to show, but it's already showing. Now, of course, they've attempted to do these blackouts before, these economic blackouts in protest to what's going on. I don't believe it's going to work because a lot of the times the American citizens just can't come on one accord and get it done. But they're definitely not doing it for no reason. You know, you got gas prices going as high as $9 in certain places. The price of living is skyrocketing. Groceries are skyrocketing. You know, it's getting really bad. And of course, all of this is prophesied. And what we do on this platform is make sense of everything that's happening so we can stay in the right spirits and move accordingly. Now, y'all know how we do. We give nothing but the truth. So as you enter the broadcast, make sure you hit the like button. It's time to get into it. Let's go.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love. They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks, with these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Welcome back to another broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to have y'all. I see brothers and sisters rolling in the chat. I see y'all. Tania's in the building. Child of God is in the house. Shawnee Wayne is in the building. RJ, salute. Yes, Gladiator's in the building. It's good to have y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay nothing short of interactive. And of course, if you feel led by the Spirit, feel free to share scriptures at any given time, and make sure you support the work while we're breaking down what's going on in real time. Brothers and sisters, y'all witnessing Babylon fall. That's right. And I'm not here to say that it's going to be an absolute collapse tomorrow or the day after. But what I will say is you have to go with the proof that you can see. And you can see that we're not getting any real solutions from the world powers or the so-called governments of this world. We're not getting any real solutions, only open-ended stories and confusion. Hebrew Cares in the house. Hello. King is in the building. RJ, peace and blessings to everyone. And what we're witnessing in America is a lot of systemic issues. And it's not just economic. There's a moral decay going on in Babylon. And it's creating a perfect storm. Not to mention what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, which is affecting the entire world. And I believe that these Iranians will be willing to crash out completely and self-destruct if that means destroying the infidels. So they don't seem to be letting up. They seem to be embarrassing America with every negotiation or so-called negotiation that happens. And it doesn't look like this is slowing down anytime soon. Now, for those just joining, of course, the American citizens are set to do a protest by doing a complete economic blackout. And of course, they've done these before. Most of the time, Americans can't get on the same page. Somebody's going to go out and bang up somebody's fast food drive-through. Somebody's going to go to H&M and Nike and somebody's going to purchase. Somebody's going to hit the mall tomorrow. You know, they call him tomorrow, May 1st, Mayday, where a lot of people are actually on board with this. I think it's a good idea. However, you know, only time will tell. Let's see if it works, right? But
We have some major.
there's a reason why everybody's doing this. There's a reason why. There's a lot of stuff coming out now. And you got a lot of American citizens just all out trying to escape America. They're trying to evacuate America. 25 million Americans are applying for passports right now as we speak. So trust and believe a mass exodus of some sort is developing.
Americans are so serious about leaving the United States that almost 25 million brand new passport applications are being filed right now. Newsweek is reporting that in order to handle this historic surge, the U.S. State Department has set up dozens of passport fairs all around the country through the month of May. People are reacting to the potential SAVE Act, the proposed executive orders requiring proof of citizenship for banking, and in general, the desire to leave the United States for better affordability and better opportunities elsewhere. I'm Natalia, and I provide Americans with resources for moving abroad without any of the influence or fluff. Follow me for more on what's actually happening in this global shuffle we all find ourselves in.
Yep. And see, being a part of the travel industry, I understand what's happening right now. It's getting real. And I'm just break it down to you. Right now, America's looking fragile. You got a system that looks strong, but at the same time, when you just scratch beneath the surface a little bit, it's very fragile. And those who are in the know, they can see it. It's very obvious. And a lot of the merchants of the earth, they're going back home. That's what's happening. What the Bible actually predicted when it says that in these last days, people would flee back into their own land. And if somebody want to share that scripture, go ahead and share it and I'll post that. That's what's happening. The great whore is getting used out and people are ready to evacuate. And it's happening in droves. And then, of course, you got American citizens who are also applying, who's born and raised here, who just then lost hope in the system, which you can't really blame them for that. It's people going to different places, so, or at least attempting to. I'm telling you.
Atlanta and outskirts is crazy. I imagine the whole country's like this, but it's more people in higher populated areas. But I mean, it's literally gotta be 50 cars out here, and you can tell we all are posted up.
There's a lot of people living out of their vehicles right now, and it's getting real. The Bible talks about these times, and I want to segue to a scripture real quick, and I want to go to 1 Thessalonians 5:2, where it says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh about them, as travail upon woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, and let us watch and be sober." See, brothers and sisters, what we're doing right now is we're watching and we're being sober. Notice the Bible says when they scream peace and safety, sudden destruction will come unto them. It's not talking about us, children of the light. Those who are in darkness, those who are in wickedness are about to be judged. Those who have struggled, suffered, worked hard to try to make ends meet, strive to do the right thing, kept their heart, kept their soul, kept their morals, we don't have nothing to worry about. We ain't got nothing to worry about. But it says be sober and watchful. And it's not just talking about not having a drink or a smoke. It's talking about be observant, be socially aware, be cognitive what's going on, be abreast to what's happening in the news. Be mindful of the day and age you're living in. There's a lot of desperation. There's a lot of homelessness. There's a lot of grief. There's a lot of anxiety. So you have to look at what's going on and why people are protesting. And also tomorrow, what they call in Mayday, they're going to pass a law and it's called E15, where they're going to officially start diluting gasoline at this point because we're running low.
The federal government just confirmed that they are about to start diluting your gasoline this May. So basically, the EPA just announced that starting on May the 1st, gas stations across the country can sell E15 fuel nationwide. If you're somebody that doesn't know what E15 fuel is, it's gasoline that's cut with 15% ethanol instead of just the usual 10. And you literally cannot make this up right now because they are calling it fortifying the domestic fuel supply, which is a really weird way to say that you're just going to be adding more corn juice to people's gas.
EPA has issued emergency waivers.
And guess what? The gas prices ain't going to change, but it's going to run out quicker. Yes, this is the scripture I was looking for, Isaiah 13 and 14. And this would explain why so many people are trying to apply for passports and visas. So many people are leaving the country right now. Isaiah 13 and 14 says, "And it shall be as the chaste roe, and as sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land." That's what you have happening right now. The American dream is dead. People are officially exiting stage left and saying, look, we're going back home. We're going back to China. We're going back to Russia. And listen, this doesn't even mean people who were born in other countries. This is for people who know their lineage. Some of them Khazarians, they're going right back to Russia. You know, these people know their lineage and they like, look, I got family over there in Spain, Portugal, or Greece, or where, Rome, Europe, wherever they came from. And they're trying to go back. And so, you know, some of our people, they're going to the motherland. And look, what this should tell you is it's important to gravitate towards your own tribe, towards your people, because they're the only ones you got in this day and age. And your people are those who follow Christ. Your people are those who are like-minded, who still have a soul, not these zombies out here who are operating on low vibrations.
For gasoline blends like E15.
Now this is why it actually matters to you, because ethanol has less energy than regular gasoline, so your car gets worse fuel economy on E15. The entire point of this is that you might be saving about 25 cents per gallon at the pump, but you're burning through it faster, so obviously the savings just cancels itself out. But this is the part that genuinely nobody's talking about, because the EPA normally bans E15 during the summer because ethanol evaporates faster in heat and creates more smog. They explicitly know this, but they just decided to waive their own rule that they made anyways because gas prices are high right now and people are angry. And if you're somebody that owns an older car, a lawnmower, a boat, or a chainsaw, they're saying to be careful because E15 can mess up those engines. So they're making your gas cheaper by just making it worse. Is that even surprising at this point? The federal...
Yep, and it's official. It's coming in the month of May. And, you know, not only that, they're taking a lot of different shortcuts. And this is how you know that they're consolidating. They're consolidating because they know it's about to collapse. Another shortcut that they're taking right now is they're trying to offer farmers data centers. Farmers, they're offering some of these farmers $15 million to be able to replace farmland with data centers, y'all. So something very eerie is going on. Like, peep this.
You know we have a problem when the people who...
I can't even play this one because the music he's playing is not, it is copywritten. But, you know, we do have a source on it, and the source is right here. I'm going to read up on it.
who are growing.
Hold on. It says, when data centers developers show up, they often in multiples of fair market AG value. In this story right here, there's an 86-year-old Pennsylvania farmer named Marvin Rodelbo. He was offered a whopping 15 mil for 261 acres by unnamed data centers developers. And this was a generational family business that was around for 70 plus years. So what are they actually trying to do? They're trying to turn even our farmland, where agriculture is produced, into a data matrix. You know, they want to take over sovereignty when it comes to food production. And so this is what we must understand. This is a war going on. Yeah, this is a war going on. They know what's happening.
So the new global lockdown is in full swing, or energy lockdown as they're calling it. Let's give you guys the latest updates on what's happening country by country, because it is getting worse. With oil at $114 per barrel over the next few weeks, if this doesn't come down, it's going to keep having knock-on effects for a lot of different countries. So in Bangladesh, we've got fuel rationing that is active, universities closed, military deployed in oil depots. Sri Lanka also with fuel rationing. Slovenia with 50 litres per day cap on fuels. Philippines, national energy emergency declared with a 4-day working week. Along with Pakistan following suit with this.
Y'all hear that? Philippines are finally at a state of emergency. And by the way, the Philippines is one of our allies. And the reason why they're going into a state of emergency is because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And they said the Philippines, from what I read, they are 45 days away from having absolutely no oil in the Philippines. So what's happening is, what is America going to do about that? Meanwhile, they're trying to water our gas down with E15. And one of our allies, the Philippines, are already in a state of emergency. So when I say the walls are closing in because of this Hormuz issue, it's beginning to show up now. And this is actually happening sooner than I thought it would.
With school closures still in effect. Myanmar has. So the new global lockdown is in full swing, or energy lockdown.
Yeah, this is happening a lot sooner than I thought. And meanwhile, you have MAGA and this Trump administration paying attention to all the wrong things.
A leaked memo shows the FBI is creating a list of Americans they're labeling extremists based on their political beliefs. The memo outlines reward systems, surveillance expansions, and even targeting of people who oppose the Trump administration. Pam Bondi is ordering the FBI to compile this list of people they label as domestic terrorists. The target is those opposing to law and immigration enforcement, extreme views in favor of mass migration and open borders, adherence to radical gender ideology, as well as anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity. So basically, anybody who has a different viewpoint than a Republican is essentially who they're going after. This language echoes the so-called indicators of terrorism identified by President Trump's directive NSPM 7. They're essentially declaring war on anybody who isn't MAGA. This is a plan for how the government will wage in on a tactical level. They want federal law enforcement to refer to the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Forces if they observe these anti-Trump behaviors. They're then instructed to use all available investigative tools in order to map the full network of people involved, both inside and outside the United States. This memo doesn't read like a legitimate national security document at all. It's more like a political roadmap for identifying, tracking, and punishing dissent. It shifts the definition of extremism and terrorism away from actual violence and towards personal beliefs. This is a major departure from FBI standards, and it blurs the line between counterterrorism and political targeting. A leaked memo shows the FBI.
Absolutely. And this is how it's going to be for those who truly believe Christ in the last days. You know, they want you to fall in line. And, you know, the Bible says that there will be people martyred, beheaded for their faith. And that's what they're trying to do. Really target your personal beliefs. Meanwhile, this administration got a whole lot more to be worried about, right? You know, the Bible makes it very clear, because we got this moral decay going on. And it's deeper than just the economy. 2 Timothy 3:1 reads, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of them own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. See, this is the moral decay, the societal shift I'm talking about. These people have a form of godliness, but they're not really following Christ. They call themselves Christian nationalists, but really they're proud and boastful and arrogant, truce breakers. That means they don't keep their words. These people are conniving, they're liars, swindlers. And they're not really following the Almighty. They're not following the Most High. They actually hate those who do. And that's the type of society you're living in America. People, and I know you brothers and sisters endure that on a daily basis. You could be at your workplace, minding your business, doing what it is you do. And for whatever reason, you getting these mean mugs, you getting these cold stares. Why? You're hated just for being different. You're hated just for not gossiping. You're hated just for not backbiting. You're hated because you're standing out. You're not even concerned with fitting in. They're poking while you're walking. They're talking behind your back. At every corner, you have to make sure you're very mindful of what you say, because everybody want to flip your words. And then when you're quiet, you mind your business, people want to drag you into things that don't have nothing to do with you. Why? Because these people are haters of those who do good. And it's not just, it's on a government scale, it's in every facet of our existence. It's on an everyday scale. You know, when you see what's going on politically, it's just a microcosm of what happens in our day-to-day lives, y'all. I'm telling you. It really is.
We have some big news right now, especially if you're traveling into the United States of America on any visa, because U.S. embassies, effective immediately, are now demanding that you, when applying to enter the United States of America, adjust the privacy settings on all of your public social media profiles to public to facilitate vetting necessary to establish your identity and admissibility. This applies for anyone who wants an A3 visa, a C3 visa, a G5 visa, an H3 visa, along with H4 dependents, K1 visa, K2 visa, K3 visa, the Q visa, R1, R2, ST, and U non-immigrant visas. If you're applying for any one of these visas, you're going to have to turn your social media profiles public. Just be aware. This is from the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand, but this is a policy that's going to be implemented, if it already hasn't, across the board at embassies across the world. Ask yourselves why they want to see your social media.
There's no more privacy. And they want your social media so they can know what you believe in, so they can know how to treat you. You know, in some instances, you know, they want to deny access to certain places based on what you believe. They may not want you to discover certain things out there in the world. That's how real it's getting. That's why I say, while you can navigate as freely as you possibly can, and, you know, understand that time is pretty dire. Enjoy the time you have with loved ones. And you may have family that live, you know, in another state, another place. Sometimes you have to go ahead and go out on faith and go see that person, go visit certain people, you know, because there will come a time, like the book of Esdras says, where a man would desire to go into one city to the next, but can't. That's how real it's getting. So, you know, when we get into times of war, a lot of things get more stringent. They get a lot more regulatory with who can travel and who can't, you know?
Well, it looks like all of the MAGA influencers got their marching orders last night, because after the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, Every single one of them at the same time came out and started talking about how this means we need to build the ballroom at the White House. It needs to happen. Look at this. You even have members of Congress getting involved in it, all at the same time, the same message. Donald Trump even went on social media today. The first message he put out today, the first message about the shooting today, was him talking about the need to build the ballroom. It is so weird how the online reaction from the right to this shooting is, oh, well, we need to build the ballroom. That's what this means. It doesn't mean, oh, maybe there needs to be more gun control or more regulation or a conversation about security. No. They have to build the ballroom. You can let me know in the comments what you think about this and the reaction online from the MAGA Republicans. I just think it's so weird.
It should be very clear that that ballroom dinner shooting was staged. It should be absolutely apparent at this point. And they did it to do what? Be able to build the ballroom. Claim it's too dangerous to have these dinners anywhere else. We need that $1 million ballroom off the taxpayers' dollars. And, you know, it's just the fact that Trump has not been investigated, I mean, by the FBI or CIA is just beyond me. And the fact that Congress allows this to go on, I believe that they're all in on it. They're all Baal worshipers. When they talk about the ballroom, exactly, Shawnee, they talking about the Baal room, where they're going to be doing their Baal worship and their damn spirit cooking. These are all Satanists. These are all warlocks, witches. You know, there's going to be some shapeshifters in the mix. You know, they need that Baal room so they can worship their God. And, you know, if that means staging shootings to curb public opinion and perception and keep us occupied and distracted, then that's killing two birds with one stone. Yeah, these people are all on the same club, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. You know, that, listen, two wings of the same bird. Look, Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 12:3. And it reads, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." Ladies and gentlemen, that's the system shutting down. This scripture is clearly describing the economy being weakened, normal life being darkened, meaning it's going to be different outside. When it used to be motion, people was moving. When it used to be business being conducted, the streets are going to be zipping up and darkened. It's going to be hollow out there. That's what happens when there's no business going on. There's nothing being conducted. It's going to become a ghost town in a lot of places. Meanwhile, these people are going to be up in the hills and they ritzy conclaves having Baal worshiping ceremonies and $1 million dinners. That's what's going to be going on in the streets of Babylon while these devils is having millionaire dinners. And then you got this tweaked out demon right here. I know y'all wish this was AI, but it's not. I know, right? We wish this was AI, but it's not. And then you got people like Erica Kirk, dressed like Sonya Blade, dressed like Sarah Connor, mixed with Eminem, out here condemning Drewski and Candace Owens to death. Meanwhile, they want sympathy and pity. Middle America, MAGA wants sympathy and pity for this. I'm telling you, it's like, what's really going on? And you know, the mass majority of people who were strong right-wing Republicans right now, they even looking sideways at all this. All these characters that came with Trump being elected. Yeah. She's literally dressed like the assassin that popped Charlie Kirk. She's dressed just like the assassin. It's like, what type of message are they trying to put out there to the public? I mean, I don't know if she's about to do a podcast or spit a 16. I don't know if she about to hit vomit on a sweater already. It's mom spaghetti. Everybody from the 313, get your hands up and vibe with me. Everybody from the 313. I don't know what she about to do. But they're trying to force sympathy on these characters who she claimed she was in a living hell for the last couple years or last year. And she been coming out on stages like Lil Yachty. You just can't make it up. Listen, her stage appearances look like the Travis Scott concert. And I'm not even hyping it up. But they want our energy and our sympathy. And it's not cool because you got this person here who is promoting political violence, but claims she's against political violence, but she's still mad at Drewski. And you know, Black America, we was over it. We weren't even thinking about this no more. She ignored Drewski. We thought that was a good move. I mean, I thought that was a good move. Didn't say much. She waited a month later to show that she's still in her fifis and start still talking about Drewski. I'm telling you, something wrong with this one. Man. Yeah, I have zero sympathy for these people, man. It's real news going on right now. It's a lot happening in the world. And Germany just made an official statement about how Iran is humiliating the US. And I agree.
This is breaking news. The Chancellor of Germany said today that he believes Iran is humiliating the US throughout all these negotiations, saying he doesn't know what the United States' exit strategy is from the war with Iran. This is breaking news. The Chancellor of Germany.
You know, y'all said play it one more time, Bree. See, y'all in disbelief at this. It's like, what is she about to morph? I don't know if Drewski is copying her or she's copying Drewski at this point, man. It's wild.
The biggest problem in this country is that people who make $700 an hour have convinced people who make $25 an hour that people who make $7 an hour are the problem. Mm-hmm. The biggest problem in this country is that people who make $700 an hour have convinced people who make $25 an hour that people who make $7 an hour are the problem.
Exactly. You know, the misappropriated wealth in this country is the reason why people are leaving. That's why people are doing Mayday, the Mayday protest tomorrow. This is exactly why.
Let's talk about food prices. What's going to happen with my groceries? How much higher are they going to go?
Well, if gas is up 20%, you should see the ripple effects that are pretty substantial. 40 to 50% of the cost of your food comes from the cost of fertilizer and everything that's locked up in the Strait. So nitrogen, urea, all of the fertilizer components are about half of the cost of your food. So if that is increasing from, what was it, $70 a barrel before the bombing started, and now we're at 102, that's going to compound. And I suspect that as we get into seize up territory with these tankers, which is where we continue to be, you're going to see that continue to escalate. And for diesel, it's worse. And that's, of course, what the farmers not only use for fertilizer, but to run their tractors, to run all their farm equipment. I mean, the prices trickle out. We should start to see that hit around April 29th.
Let's talk about food prices.
Today is April 29th, y'all. I had this video clip stacked right here, and it's going to be official by tomorrow. You know, they've been talking about this about 3 weeks ago. My brother had sent me a video about three weeks ago saying, hey, this was going to happen in 3 weeks. And I meant to share that with y'all too, but we're here now. That 3 weeks is up. And we're expecting prices to go up a whole lot for the month of May, y'all. So, you know, make the proper adjustments. Somebody asked me earlier, Bree, how should we prepare? If you can, you know, I mean, we've been putting out a lot of material over the last couple of weeks. I think I said about 2 weeks ago to get you some extra gas. You know, go ahead and get it at the price it was, even though it was high then, it's going to go up higher. And, you know, you just got to shop smarter. And I'm going to say this too, you know, a lot of brothers and sisters, we got to find a fasting regimen. You know, start training your body to only be able to sustain off of one meal a day. Things that simple. You know, just learn how to get the right macros and micronutrients in your body. Learn how to get the right amount of protein in your body that you need to thrive. And in actuality, it don't really even cost that much. It don't cost that much to get the macronutrients you need, because you might have to cut back on your grocery bill and get into survival mode a little bit. I mean, and I'm just saying things that are practical, especially for you all out there that's just kind of getting by right now, and you're already having a hard time keeping food on the table. You just might have to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Get a lot of canned tuna and canned chicken, you know, stuff like that, stuff that can last a while, kind of stock up a little bit. I'm not telling you to move in haste or fear, but, you know, it is time to prepare somewhat, right?
What's going to happen with my groceries? How much higher are they going to go?
Well, if gas is up 20%, you should see the ripple effects that are pretty substantial. 40 to 50% of the cost of your food comes from the cost of fertilizer and everything that's locked up in the Strait. So nitrogen, urea, all of the fertilizer components are about half of the cost of your food. So if that is increasing from, what was it, $70 a barrel before the bombing started, and now we're at 102, that's going to compound. And I suspect that as we get into seize up territory with these tankers, which is where we continue to be, you're going to see that continue to escalate. And for diesel, it's worse. And that's, of course, what the farmers not only use for fertilizer, but to run their tractors, to run all their farm equipment. I mean, the prices trickle out. We should start to see that hit around April 29th.
Let's talk about food prices.
Now, April 29th. Well, today is April 29th. You're going to see it officially around tomorrow-ish, or at least by, you know, tomorrow-ish going in, you know, we might get this weekend, and then by Monday, you'll see some changes probably in your local, more than likely in your local grocery. I mean, we're here now. I've actually already seen some changes already near me. I'm going to read from the book of Havoc, and I'm going to read 2. I'm going to read 6 and 7. It says, watch this. It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, How long? Question mark. And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now let's stop right there. It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Listen, we don't be owning anything in America, but we'll be so fixated with increasing with things that don't belong to us. I think the Bible make it really clear. It says, woe to him that increaseth with things that's not his. That's like slacking clay on yourself. It seems like you own it, but it's just weighing you down. That's what the scriptures is saying. And this is why I've always talked about having things that are tangible. I'm real big on livable structures. I'm real big on RVs. I'm real big on mini homes. I'm real big on those. You can get some from Home Depot, Walmart, container homes, and I'm real big on land and things like that. And the reason why is because, the scriptures kind of give us some directives. It says, again, the book of Habakkuk, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? How long are we going to do this and understand that it's not working? Our elders got to leave retirement, go back to work. Are we supposed to live our entire lives, work a 9 to 5, and not be able to get any retirement, not be able to get any Social Security, not be able to get any of that? Are we supposed to just keep doing the same thing and expect different results? And it says, and him that ladeth himself with thick clay, shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee? And awake thou shalt vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. That means they're going to use you for your heavy debt. They're going to exploit you. They're not going to be balanced. And eventually everything you earn goes back to the system. That's a hamster wheel. That's a hamster wheel. You said it. Bible talks about this stuff. So somebody asked me, Bree, what should we be doing to prepare? Well, you got to start changing how you think. You got to look at what the Bible actually wanted for us. Change what you believe financial freedom is. And start thinking more like a libertarian, not a liberal, a libertarian, meaning liberally, actually being liberal, to have your own, own your own, build with people who think like you, desire to be free until you can make it a reality. That's what I would say is a solution. Not saying it's the solution, but if you change the way you think, eventually you're going to change the way you move. They want to keep us in debt all the time. We gotta shake that.
BlackRock just froze all of their clients' assets. None of them can make withdrawals. Uh-oh. This is just the start. Have you seen the price of oil? Woo! BlackRock just froze all of their clients' assets. None of them can make withdrawals.
Yes, becoming a minimalist is a good idea too.
Why I thought this Erica Kirk video was AI or fake.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
Now she showed up in the Rhythm Nation outfit. Not when I was 17, I did what Charlie told me. White people don't like Erica because she's not good at being fake. White people are extremely good at being fake, right? It's just what they do. It's who they are. She's not good at it at all. That's why white people don't like other white people who aren't good at being fake. Charlie, he was authentically ignorant. Why I thought this Erica Kirk video was AI or fake.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, every now and then I just got to keep going back to this Erica Kirk thing because, you know, y'all find it funny and I do too. Sometimes we need a little comedy relief. My boy said that she got the I'm living in a rhythm nation. Yeah, she showed up. She showed up wilding out, man. I don't know what her idea was to do the podcast like that. But it's wild, man. It's wild, y'all. It's wild, man. You know, every now and then we gotta have some comedy relief. You know, we be kicking it over here. But he's right though. You know, a lot of people not really feeling her, man, because she's not good at being performative. She's giving away their fakeness. She's giving away their fakeness. But listen, this is getting real in America, though. We know that we are in the collapse phase. We truly are. We truly are. Right now, and this is real news. Real news. I fact check everything that I look up. Half of the US states right now are officially in a recession. Half.
Breaking news, as of now, 22 states are in an official recession. This means that for a vast portion of Americans, we are facing economic hardship. So don't let economists and Fox News reporters tell you we're fine, we're not in a recession, because we are, and we have the data to prove it. Recession is often characterized by lack of job opportunities as well as persistent economic hardship lasting more than a few months. Current estimates suggest that 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Many people are struggling to put food on the table each day. States currently in or on the brink of recession include Oregon, Georgia, and Illinois, where I currently live. There has been a significant decline in economic activity in these states that has lasted for more than a few months. The craziest thing is that the District of Columbia, or DC, the capital of the country, is one of the territories that's hit the hardest right now. But why? Largely because of Trump's economic plan and the tariffs. So many politicians are lying to us right now by saying that our economy is the greatest in the world, especially those on the right. And I want you to know right now that no, you're not crazy. Yes, the economy is worse. Yes, it is harder to get a job. And yes, it is because of the person who is in office right now, as well as various other factors. Crazy, and we're only 1 year into his presidency. Breaking news, as of now, 22 states are in an official recession.
You know, they're going to turn America to the damn Hunger Games, man. It's going to get real out there. Imagine certain cities that used to have motion end up food deserts. Imagine checkpoints set up everywhere. Somebody said it, prepare for these Hunger Games. I mean, I'm telling you. And they got a new Hunger Games movie coming out soon, too. And it's crazy because the new Hunger Games movie that's about to come out, they got twice as many contestants as all the other Hunger Games movies. I think that is a sign in itself because, you know, they be telling you the truth in their movies. By the way, I'm going to go see that new Hunger Games when it come out, too. But they're telling you what's going on. It's called predictive programming. Make no mistake about it. The Wisdom of Solomon 5:1 says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him." Look, there's going to come a time when we're going to stand bold right in the face of those who afflicted us. And it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. And it says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision. We fools accounted his life as madness, and this end to be without honor. So people who have been mocking the truth, people who have been mocking God's people who have been mocking the chosen ones, those who want to stay upright, those who want to keep their soul, those who want to follow truth and speak truth to power, those who don't mind standing out. There's going to come a time where we're going to be face to face with these people and they're going to be in serious regret. They're going to be in serious regret because they counted our lives as madness. No. the reason why we've had so many struggles is because of the generational curses that's been on us and the trauma that's happened from generation to generation through captivity. But I would say that as a whole, our people, it's amazing. It's a miracle that we are who we are, able to articulate in this world, able to survive in this world, able to even maintain after all that we've been through. After all we've been through as a people. But you got so many people pointing and wagging a finger at us as if we're the problem. No. The curses are being lifted. These people time is running out. That's why half of the country's in a recession. That's why so much division. That's why this thing is collapsing, because it's going to be our time. We got next.
There's all these missing scientists who had access to classified material. A bunch of them have turned up they're either missing or they have turned up dead. Have you been briefed yet about whether or not these cases are connected?
Yeah, I have.
And can you tell us if they are connected?
Well, so far, I mean, they're individual. We have a lot of scientists. So when you see, you put together 10, it's a lot, but it's, a very small number. Compared to what overall, we have a lot of scientists. I was asking that question, thousands, hundreds of thousands of scientists. So, some of them that we looked at are very sad cases in some cases. Some were sick. Some left this earth self-inflicted. Some had other things. So far, there's not a major, there's sometimes a little bit of a connection anyway, and you say, oh, this is a terrible thing. But so far, we're finding that there's not much of a connection. We'll let you know. We're going to be doing a full report. It's very serious.
There's all these missing scientists who...
And this is what I was talking about with all of these stories converging. There's the systemic issue that I wanted to really expound on in America, where all these stories have patterns. None of it is coincidence. And when you look at this happening all at one time, it shows that there must be someone trying to hide information, trying to hide the truth, and they're working overtime. And these people's pockets are deep. Whoever's trying to stop and silence truth. They don't want us to know we're the neurodivergent beings. They don't want us to know that we are the ultra terrestrials. I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. They don't want us to know. They want us to focus on UFOs or aliens, right? Not understanding that the real aliens are these folks sitting up in the White House. These reptilian shapeshifters. They want us to worry about these other entities, these Nephilim that they bow down to, just bigger Nephilims, when they are aliens in human form. Let's just keep it a buck. These people that did these heinous things on those files to children, these people are not human. These people are not human beings, bro. These are Baal-worshiping, half-breed, reptilian aliens. Telling you, these people don't have the God gene. They don't have a soul. There's no soul in these beings. It's all about greed and power with these individuals. Telling you.
Listen, there will be a time when distractions no longer needed. What we're about to go through, and it's brewing, it's going to be crazy, folks. Everything that they've been talking about and everything that's being done in the dark will show itself real soon. Listen what I'm telling you, man. It's a lot of shit happening. And a lot of folks are not seeing it. A lot of folks is not tuning in to this shit, trying to educate themselves on things that they need to be doing right now. Because hard times is knocking at the front door and the back door. Listen what I'm telling you. Listen, that Strait of Hormuz, that motherfucker's still closed. And there's no signs of it opening back up. That is a lot of goods to other countries, and I don't care what they tell you, a lot of that shit affect what we got going on over here. Listen, the numbers that we see over here in the United States right now, they playing with them numbers. Them are fluffy numbers. From everything that you buying, but come next month, they can no longer hide them numbers, man. We are in a financial fucking crisis, man. Listen, you're gonna literally be paying an arm and a leg for a piece of motherfucking chicken, for a goddamn, for some loaf of bread, for milk, for eggs. Y'all were talking about eggs, doing goddamn, man, listen. Boy, you ain't seen nothing. You wait till them real numbers for that gas and all this shit start hiking up for real. You gonna see some numbers like, boy, listen what I'm telling you now. These folks about to crash everything, man. King Charles is over here in the United States. Trump done laid out the bells and the fucking whistles for him. Motherfuckers out here, yeah, all this crazy, stupid shit. What you think these folks finna talk about old times and drink tea and eat crumpets and all this bullshit? Hell no. Trump trying to goddamn get help. Trump trying to get help. They ain't gonna tell you this shit, though. But if you got a motherfucking brain, you can see what's going on. As it is. Listen what I'm telling you, man. It's about to get serious.
All right, so you can take this however you'd like to take.
And, you know, people can feel how they want to feel. It's just the truth. You know, a lot of ignorant people out there be calling this fear mongering, just telling the truth. No, what the man is saying is really going to happen and is already happening, you know, and it's not for anybody to fear, because if you fear what's going on, that means you're not going to take necessary precautions. That's what that tells me. But no, this ain't fear mongering. This is just the truth. America is terminally ill. America is terminally ill. And it's not getting better. Of course, some of the material that I may put out, y'all may find it a little bit entertaining, which is cool. We human. We ain't moving in fear. We have a good time on these streams time from time. But this message is not entertainment. This message is the truth. And, you know, like the scripture says, if the Most High was going to save Babylon, he would have done it already. You know, this is where we're headed. And, you know, those people in that White House, those people in the government, make no mistake about it, they are our enemies. At the end of the day, they don't have our best interests at heart. And Sirach 12:10 says, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And that goes for everybody in your real life. Make no mistake about it. Look, some people gonna hate you for your entire life. Some people are your enemy. It is what it is, and ain't nothing you can do about that. Ain't nothing you can say. Ain't nothing you can do or say to convince them otherwise. They've already made up in their mind that you are an op. You are an enemy. And guess what? These people who control these systems, they've already made up in their mind that we are nothing but sheeple to them. That we are the enemy, matter of fact, they don't even think we worthy of being an enemy. They think less of us than an enemy. So I'm not putting my faith with these people, and neither should you. But look, let's go.
make it, but I'm here with a warning. I spoke to multiple vendors late last night, and they informed me that people don't even realize that within 2 weeks, everything you buy is gonna either double or triple. I'm talking about everything from paper products, plastic wrap, dog food, shampoo, butter, milk, virtually anything that's made with plastic or cardboard packaging, foam, basically everything. So you have 2 weeks. I'm just here to warn you that if you can, a lot of people can't, if you can afford to stock up on like canned tuna, ramen noodles, boxes of cereal.
Let's not do ramen noodles or boxes of cereal.
I mean, cereal right now is like $5 to $6 a box. If you can find it on sale for $4, you should buy like 10 boxes. If you can find butter that you can freeze, that'll get you through the next 2 to 3 months, I would buy that. Now, I know you can't stock up on milk, but anything you can buy right now, granola bars.
Unless you're talking oatmeal, if you're talking about hot cereal.
Cereal, cheese, God, I'm just trying to give you some ideas. Tin foil, paper cups, plastic wrap, napkins, toilet paper. I think you know where this is going. Things are going to be astronomically more expensive within 2 weeks. I would say
it's time to just bulk shop, man. If you ain't got your Costco's membership, go get that. If you ain't got your Sam's Club membership, go get that. At this point, and I used to be completely against bulk shopping. Like I couldn't stand bulk shopping. But honestly, it's needed. It's needed. Do what you need to do. And, you know, don't think too much about it. Just get what you need. You know, yeah, don't be out here getting peanut butter Captain Crunch. Let Elizabeth tomorrow get some peanut. Now, you want to get something that got some nutritional value. Some nutritional value, you know. And believe it or not, that'll be the stuff that's left. You know, when you start eating healthy and stuff, you'll realize that would be the stuff that people ignore, all the good stuff for you. The cans of tuna and all that. They're going after cereal and Doritos and stuff. They going after Hot Pockets and pizza rolls. And we're going to just go ahead and get all them grapefruits and them avocados and dry beans and rice and potatoes, as many potatoes as you can. Potatoes that come through in a clutch. But anyway.
Approximately 2 weeks. And the people the manufacturers and the vendors, they're already preparing for this because it's happening. And I don't think there's any way to stop it. A lot of it has to do with the war and the oil it takes to make a lot of these packages for plastic wrap, plastic bottles, and so on and so forth, foam. So if you can afford it, I'm not trying to scare people, but I would start stocking up now.
Yeah, that's not bad advice. It's not bad advice at all. And if you're scared, you know, go to the Christian church. You know, if you're scared, go to the churches where they're not telling you nothing, where they're telling you to just throw some money in the plate and they're not making you aware of what's actually going on in America. You know, if you're scared, you just go to them. But if you want, you know, if you want to prepare for the times, because we're living in the final days and it looks like we're in the last days of Babylon. If you want to move accordingly, then you're in the right place. Let's go.
why is life just so overwhelming? I mean, I know everyone's literally in the same boat. Like, oh my god. It's just so overwhelming. Like, and stressful. Like, trying to keep up with rent, utility bills, food, and... like, if you're not worried about that, you're worried about work, and, you know, you go to work and work is full on, and... like, I just want to go back to being a teenager when I was carefree and I used to just go out all the time and have fun, and I wasn't worried about anything. My biggest problem was, like, what baby lips, is that what they were called? Baby lips lip balm I was going to use. Now it's like, problems nowadays, it's like, do I pay for a utility bill or do I choose to put food on my table? And I know my problems are probably not even that big because I don't have children or anything. I don't know how. I actually couldn't even imagine having a child right now. I can barely keep myself alive, never mind a child. But like...
And you know, and right now there's a major issue going on with a lot of young ladies. You know, a lot of them are the ones really getting these passports because they just can't see even having children in this time. And there's a whole epidemic with that going on. There's a lot of news coming out. I think the other day, I think it was about 2 days ago, America had announced, one of these countries announced that no children were born that day. Now, you know, you've never heard that in history, that no children were born that day. That's some end times creepy stuff right there, because children are supposed to be born every day. Thank you for the super chat, Los the Truth. I appreciate it. He says, y'all get them donations up. Nobody bringing truth like this on the internet. Salute Big Breed. I would support on Cash App, but they keep banning me. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't, you know, Cash App for us brothers and sisters, that's like Venmo for us. We use it like Venmo. You know, the other nations, they using Venmo. But nonetheless, I appreciate the support. And I'm glad the word is resonating. But yeah, these are the struggles in Babylon, man, 2026.
Just have a really long day at work, and I've now just come home, sat in my flat, and I'm just sat here enjoying the peace and quiet for like a minute because my brain is just so overwhelmed. It's just, I'm trying to just decompress, ready to do it all again tomorrow.
I remember, I think it was over 15 years ago, it feels like, if not more. Everything was affordable. Going to concerts, going to the movies, going out to eat, or having a fun fucking night. You bar hop. It wasn't that expensive. And now, it feels like you're giving up half your paycheck, if not your whole paycheck, to do some of these things.
And that's why, and honestly, the nightlife is dying. It's dying immensely. I seen a video clip with Vegas in the middle of the spring, y'all, and it was empty. Nobody was outside on the Vegas Strip. Now that should tell you something. When you got drinks, when you got a shot for $60 and beers are $20 and all of that, these young people are not about to be out there. Nobody can afford that. But everybody's trying to hustle and get to it, but it's dead, man. Babylon don't even have the scene it used to have. In order to see people actually having a good time, you gotta leave. You gotta go to Jamaica or somewhere. You gotta leave. That's how crazy it is. But anyway, let's go.
And it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to pay half your paycheck, if not your whole paycheck, or save 2-3 months worth of paychecks to go to a concert or have a fun night or go bar hopping or restaurant hopping or try new things or sightsee to a new state or a new area that you're not familiar with. It just sucks. And I'm tired of it. And I really, really hope that one day we can get back to that time where it's very affordable for everyone, not just myself, where it doesn't break your bank, it doesn't break your bank account, I should say, and it doesn't cost a life savings to go have fun.
Yeah, that's sad, man. Just to have fun, you're gonna spend $1,000 just to go. What he just said, bar hopping and all that. You might as well listen. You might as well just make your home as comfortable as you can. And you know, a lot of chosen ones we'll turn up all by ourselves. But nonetheless, you know, man, it's crazy out here. And you know, for people, I just remember, I think about the 90s, y'all. I think about the 90s and the early 2000s when life was actually lifing. You know what I'm saying? That's not the climate of America right now. And I don't think it's going back to when life was lifing.
I'm old enough to remember when $100 went pretty far. And now $200 doesn't even get you anywhere. Just me? What is happening to our dollar?
Y'all, guess what happened? So my mortgage just went up. My mortgage just went up to $2,500. They just ran my analysis, my escrow analysis. And I wasn't even gonna look at it. But someone told me, like, just look at it, because I already knew I was negative because of what? Because of the fucking taxes. And because I have a shortage in my escrow. Thank you, City of Chicago. Thank you so much for making it even harder on fucking homeowners. Thank you so fucking much.
So let me get this right. The price of gas.
That's crazy, bro. She did all that work to own a home. I could see why she's in tears right there. Paying $2,500 for a mortgage is crazy. She might as well be renting a place at that point. Because not only do you got to pay that $2,500 in mortgage, but then you gotta maintain your home. The electric bills, that's the other bills don't go away. She may have a car note. That's almost like, yo, should I just sell my house, give up my house, and just downsize and get an apartment and don't have nothing to pass down to the children? That's what they want, man. They strangling people out, man. That's a crazy mortgage. Somebody said they got to bring back block parties. They got to do something. Nowadays, you can't even do that because a block party going to turn into a purge because it's going to be some nut job out there in them streets. Somebody see a block party in the city nowadays, somebody liable to tweak out. Somebody liable to shoot something up. Half the time, even if you able to go to one place that you may like, you got to pray. You got to pray that you make it at the let out. You got to pray you make it through the let out. Because somebody going to wild out in the damn parking lot. It's just too much, man. But yeah, that's crazy what they did to her mortgage, man. That's sad.
Gas is up. Housing is up. Price of housing. Job security is hard to find in this economy. You're creating fewer jobs in this economy. We're in a war we can't get out of. And the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. And you want to take $400 million of our hard-earned tax-paying dollars to build that disgusting ballroom that you claim was going to be built with private donations. Mm-hmm. What happened to the benefactors? There were none. See, this is what happens when you put a felon in the White House, a thief, a fat thief who stole $500 million from the state of New York. He's a con man, a freaking con man. And those idiots who voted for him and who will still carry his water are unbelievable at this point. I don't know about you, but I'm pissed off. I don't want to pay taxes anymore.
We can't afford gas. We can't.
I feel her. I feel her on that. You know, anybody that's still supporting the MAGA regime, I don't understand it. You know, everybody, all of the so-called, the Republicans, and also we're going to include the Black Republicans. They need to walk back a lot of things they said. Sometimes you just gotta man up and walk back some things. You got a few creators, which I will not mention, but they're in the Black conservative spaces. It's like, some of these guys are articulate. Some of the stuff they put out, it's informative. I'm not no knock on them, but listen, at this point in time, honestly, these white supremacists don't give a damn about us. And I think that as God's people, we need to really start to point out the fact that the whole system is flawed. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. Because, I ain't on a Democratic plantation. And I damn sure ain't on a Republican plantation. It's almost like you got to be on one side or the other. We need to make free thought among our people a thing. Like, we need to make actually, that should be the status quo. That we don't follow politics, meaning we don't choose a side. That right there, going to the next election cycle, literally should be the new status quo. That we don't have to choose a side. The whole system is flawed. And I believe that if some of these creators can expand their minds towards that, it would make their talking point stronger. It would make and this is just advice to whomever. It would just make more sense. And I'm talking about the Black conservative channels. And y'all got to understand that these people, Trump and Erica Kirk and all these people are not conservatives. These people claiming to be Christians, wearing their little crosses. And listen, none of these people are conservatives. When you think of the word conservative, you really think of someone who is morally sound. These people are just as bad as the Democrats. And better believe that a lot of those Republicans over there are they're experimenting with alternative lifestyles and all that too. It's the whole system. But anyway, I digressed a little bit, but let's continue.
Can't afford groceries. We can't afford to have kids. We can't afford to own a house. We can't even afford to pay for the apartments that we live in, if that, because we're always working to pay off those apartments. So what is the plan here? Like, what is their plan? What are we gonna do? I'm wondering. I'm asking. Does the class know? Like, what's the plan? What's the end goal? If it keeps going the way that it's going in the next 3 years, because I'm thinking if I was like an evil billionaire, I would just keep things moderately decent so that people would just continue to make money from me. But the greed is more than greed. It's not even greed. It's like you want so much money that you will not even be able to spend in your lifetime, but you still want more. Why? It just makes no sense. And I understand the whole like class thing, and I get it, like, but I'm just saying, like, what is the plan when we run out of money?
Well, the reason why they can never get enough resources is because they know that they're about to destroy the whole planet. And it's more about saving themselves. That's what it's really about. It's more about saving themselves. These people are going to be hiding in bunkers and damn underground tunnels and underground cities, and they're going to be trying to hide in the mountaintops. And man, listen, these people, you wondering why they getting all these billions and billions of dollars? They're trying to survive in a whole new world. They're trying to create a whole new world within a world. They can never have enough because they're petrified. And they need everything they can to try to escape, but they ain't going to be able to escape.
Then what? I don't know, y'all.
How is everyone struggling at the same time right now? Like, I'm looking around and it's not just one group of people. It's people with degrees. It's people with jobs. It's people doing everything that they're supposed to be doing and still barely getting by. So it's like, at what point do we stop acting like this is an individual problem and admit that something is just not working anymore?
7 things the middle class will not be able to afford in the next 5 years, and I think it's a lot sooner than that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Number 1, housing.
Mhm.
Unless you inherited property, struck gold, or plan to live with family,
it's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
Cars, new ones, not realistic.
Vacations. Travel savings is quietly becoming survival money.
Healthcare, insured or not, you're paying premiums, co-pays, deductibles, and that's going to eat up a lot of your money.
And medications. 5, childcare. $2,000 per child per month. It's not childcare, it's a second mortgage.
Yes, it is.
And all of the things they're listing is the reason why there must be some type of trading and barter system. There must be some type of communal environment where you can live among other people, because nothing will be able to be afforded unless you receive the mark of the beast or some sort of universal basic income, which gives them more control over your life. You will have to give up something to be able to sustain and survive in this beast system. That's the reality of where we're headed, because people want to know, Bree, what's the end game? Why is all this happening? What is their goal? This is their goal: to squeeze everybody out to become the solution, this problem reaction solution.
And it's slowly been getting so much more expensive for people
everywhere.
Retirement. Most people aren't planning retirement. They're planning how to get through next week and the week after that, and so forth. It's just impossible.
Savings, just not happening. So tell us, how are you getting through each day? We would like to know.
Let us know.
We hope this helped in some way. We're all in it together.
Yes, we are.
Like it or not, this is America. This is America. Babylon is truly falling. And right now, we're about to be in what they call the energy crisis. That is beginning to start. The energy crisis. Let's talk a little bit about that. What happened there? All right, hold on. Let me fix that. Let's talk a little bit about that. Hold on one moment. Let's go back. I don't know why it just hold on. All right.
I want to talk a little bit about engineered famine. It looks like it's happening. It's been happening for some time. Weather manipulation, engineering of the whole thing, but we're seeing a lot of things start to align that kind of shows that crunch time's about to hit us big time. What I mean by that is the whole situation with the farmers. I had a lot of people just chime in on the last video about their neck of the woods, about if they're seeing butterflies, if they're seeing bees. And I noticed.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, I'm dealing with some very intelligent people in my chat. I didn't think nobody knew that the data centers are the ones creating the energy crisis. But that's really what it is. That's why the gentleman here is bringing up farmers, because, you know, they're creating these issues, and it ties into the problem reaction solution I spoke of earlier.
from the comment section that there's people out there that are either seeing them in abundance, kind of like my neck of the woods. You'll see butterflies flying around. Just seen a bumblebee. They're out here in abundance. But in my area, I know that we have designated pollinator zones. I don't know if you guys have those in your neck of the woods, but those pollinator zones help to feed the ecosystem and make sure that the butterflies and the bumblebees stay alive and they can do their job, because obviously without them, everything will collapse. We're hearing about people saying that there's none in their neck of the woods. That's concerning. Even though I have colony people around me that like do bees and all that stuff and have hives, there's been reported losses. And they've even been trying to go around to other properties to try to build up these zones just to try to counter all the loss that's happening. Now, I also have people that have stated that they run colonies in other states. Arkansas.
They're killing the whole ecosystem, the natural ecosystem, I should say. Trees dying, bees are not being able to pollinate. They're disrupting the honey productions. Man, these people are doing a lot with these data centers.
For instance, had people chime in saying that half of their colonies have died. Half of their hives have been wiped out. They've talked to other people in the area and they've seen similar things happen. And they were like, if it's that bad in their neck of the woods, how bad is it everywhere else? This could be targeted. We're talking about ticks being dropped off en masse on farms all across the place. And people are flipping out. Again, when I look at the comment section of the most recent video, people are either seeing something or they're kind of not seeing much of anything. So it's like one or the other. You're either in an area where you have an abundance of these and you're really not worried about it because you're seeing them. But
Interesting. Star Child says, I'm a farmer and I'm seeing butterflies and bees fly over my head, many colors. Interesting. Very interesting. Somebody said the frequencies are killing off nature and people can hear them. Yes, man. How many of y'all have been hearing the ringing in the ears? Not necessarily ringing, but how many of y'all have heard the high pitch? It's like a high pitch beep, like a frequency. It's difficult to explain, but you can go into certain cities, you can go certain places, and you will hear it. If y'all hear it, let me know in the chat if y'all heard those. You know, because they're putting certain frequencies out there. Yep, that's right, Tania. They throwing off the Earth's heartbeat. Wow. Star says bumblebees drop honey on her head, meaning like they don't even have any colonies. You got the bees fragmented. Don't even know what to do. Yeah, it's like a humming. Somebody said they hear the humming, they hear static. It's very strange stuff going on.
I would be concerned when you've got farmers out there chiming in saying that they're not seeing nothing on their farms. And I know every state's different, every area is different, but it's happening in mass. And it seems this whole thing is engineered. Let's look globally. What's going on here? Trump's got the Strait of Hormuz all held up and all that. That's causing a supply crunch here that affects everything. It affects absolutely everything. It's just now getting to the point to where people are going to start to notice. And there's no end in sight here in terms of that war front or him opening up Hormuz. They keep talking about it, but it's a carrot on a stick that helps them drag the whole thing out while they pull off theatrics like the White House Correspondents' Dinner and all the stage crap that happened there. It's a whole nother story I'll be covering on the live stream tonight. Make sure to join me and let me know if you guys are seeing colonies getting wiped out in your areas. And I would have a plan. I would really start green thumbing it this year. Getting some chickens going, getting something going. You'd be surprised. A handful of chickens could keep you and your family alive in a crisis situation.
Yep.
This harvest is going to be one of the worst ever. How can it not? More than half of our farmers cannot get the fertilizer that they need. 70% are in a bad position. Most of the country is in an engineered drought. This is all by design. This is engineered. And it's going to bring about, obviously, a low yielding crops, which will result in a famine. If this keeps happening globally, for sure. I know in some areas people are saying that over the years they've noticed the bugs have disappeared gradually. And again, some people are seeing them.
Yes, Hebrew Care says that their bees are producing, but not as good as they were last year. And y'all got to support Hebrew Care. Get y'all some of that honey. That honey is amazing too. They are beekeepers and they do produce their own honey, y'all. So, you know, this is a timely message right here. We got to get it while the getting is good. If y'all want some good honey, go ahead and order from Hebrew Care. Because like this gentleman is saying, a lot of colonies are dying because of this damn bioengineering, these damn data centers, you know, and, you know, people like him and other farmers are trying to link up and try to figure out how to make sure there's a good harvest. You know, these are the type of conversations we should be having because they're trying everything in their power to stop us from being self-sufficient. But listen, we're more powerful. I said this before, the people are more powerful than the government. When people come together, do what they need to do and start communicating with each other and, you know, figuring out what it is, how we need to move, then we can make sure they can't kill off our crops and stop all the agriculture and stop us from being able to at least survive. Because that's the goal. Y'all think is a reason why Bill Gates try to buy up all the damn land and all of that. It's a reason for that. Let's go.
I'm in abundance, kind of like I have here, and I'm thankful for that. But, you know, you could go an hour from here and they'd be gone. So what's really going on? The skies, what's being dumped on us constantly? Again, engineered. Every bit of it. Every bit of it, man. I would get ready. It looks like they're going into hyperdrive, and it looks like this whole Iran thing is to reset the globe, and like everyone's going to suffer. I want to talk a little bit about.
I'm glad he said that at the end because the Iranian war is to reset everything, and we came to that conclusion like a couple weeks ago when we start really spotlighting what's going on in this war. It's like, yo. First and foremost, both sides, they're not really for us anyway. You know, the Middle Easterns had our people in captivity before too. You know, I don't follow Islam. You know, Muhammad was a warmonger who owned 700 black slaves. That's history. But we knew that these two kingdoms, right? These two kingdoms, the Western world and the Eastern world would come together to do what? Reset everything. That's really what the war is about. Ultimately, they're trying to usher in a new world order. So the whole clash that they're having is basically to reset everything. And some of the stuff we see is scripted. Some of the stuff we see is scripted, but everything they're doing does have real consequences. You know, that's what's going on right now, man.
The way America is going is we are really going into a civil war. And people just don't understand how horrible this is gonna be, man. But this is what America has been doing. All with the ICE and the National Guard deploying them, and they're talking about the draft. This is all gonna lead into civil war. This is how civil wars start. It's the flames. So I believe in the next 2 years, man, which is Trump was still gonna be in office, there will be a civil war, because what they're doing right now is gonna collapse the economy, and that's gonna bring a lot of noise, a lot of dark times in America, and it's gonna cause into a civil war, because they're gonna need us to join them, and just all a bunch of stuff, and they're gonna hit major cities.
And in case you think this man is not correct, I'm going to read 2nd Esdras 15 and 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. For there shall be seditions among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. A man should desire to go into one city and shall not be able." Ladies and gentlemen, that's civil unrest. That's instability. You know, that is a disruption in society. That's pressure rising. That's not normal movement. It's coming to that. And also in the same book of Esdras, it says there will be people invading one another, invading each other's households for what? Lack of bread. It's coming to that.
And you're just gonna see protest, riots, all these things everywhere. Again, it's just gonna be so much more worse. But this is the world America has. This is what America does. America loves destruction because they're able to make money off of this. It's disgusting. We don't know why, but this what's gonna go on. Just make sure y'all prepare. Ain't no way to prepare, but shit, just as long as you have the knowledge of this, because these things will happen, and it will.
Well, there's ways to prepare. You got to network with the right people, number one. Another way you could prepare is get away from the wrong people. Listen. Get away from them fair weather friends that got tricks up their sleeve. Get away from that person who in secret competition with you. Get away from that individual that's hating hard, giving you the side eye. Get away from that negative person that every time you speak outside, doing something outside the box and fly, they start huffing and puffing, trying to blow your house down. You better listen. There's things you could do to prepare. Oh yeah, that's a big part of preparing. Get away from them people who don't see the good in you, only see your shortcomings and want to exploit that. Get away from them damn devils in disguise. In fact, there's other ways to prepare too. You can start doing the bare minimum, getting your goods, the things that we listed earlier. And also, you got to prepare spiritually. Now, how do you do that? You get in this word. You make sure that you're aware of what's going on. Because when you're aware, you know when they're trying to give you a false flag situation, and you won't fall for it. Because a lot of people who are going to get messed up in this situation are going to be those who don't have a solid foundation. People who can get tossed to and fro as the knowledge increases. That's the people who are going to be in trouble. Those people who operate on emotions and not a strong foundation. When you dig into these scriptures, you know when something janky going on, and you're going to move accordingly. Yeah, so I mean, you know, I like what the brother's saying, but don't say ain't no way to prepare. What we're doing right now, just having this dialogue, this is preparing us, communicating, acknowledging the problem. Because listen, not a lot of people can see the problem. We are not the mass majority. We may have our tight-knit community, online community right here, but let's be very clear. We are outnumbered. The mass majority is not thinking about anything we're talking about right now. We're in a world of our own. And we should start to take advantage of the fact that we can see what's going on clear as day. Because guess what? Those are the people that you're going to need. Another way you could prepare is humble yourself. Humble yourself. You stop thinking you can do everything by yourself and you don't need nobody. No, it's going to come a time you're going to realize that iron sharpens iron, and you may need somebody. There may be somebody who can do something you can't do. There may be somebody sharp in an area that you're not sharp at. You, at some point, you're going to realize that you do have to get along with some people, right? You know, sometimes as believers, we get so, we have to adapt to being alone so much. We think it got to be like that with everybody. No, you got to humble yourself. That's part of preparing mentally, because we've been isolated so long. Some of us will be in a city and we'll be the only ones who know what's going on. So we're used to isolating, but it's not supposed to be like that forever. So preparing, it's a lot of things we got to do to prepare. And if it doesn't if the complete collapse doesn't happen in our lifetime, then at least instill the knowledge into our children. That's part of preparing too, preparing their minds, their hearts, their spirits for what's next, so they can carry the torch, so they can understand what's important, what needs to be done to sustain our bloodline. Because if it was up to these demonic weirdos and freaks, they will wipe all our bloodlines out. I'm telling you. And the Bible speaks it clear. And Hebrew Care just posted it. Revelations 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not in her plagues." That's preparing. That's more than preparing. That's a direct commandment. Come out of her, meaning unplug from her mentally, spiritually, and when it's time, you may want to unplug from her physically. Come out of her means all her traditions, her holidays. Come out of her ways. Come out of her, the way she does everything. Come out of her means come out of her. Bible is making it very clear, man. But anyway, you know, we want to make sure it's a full message now. Let's go.
Will happen because they already have their foot in Third World War III. I mean, World War III, they already got their foot in. First, it was a thought first. It was like a thought that they were speaking about. Now their foot is in it. So it's like we have a lot of things coming. It's really going to be interesting, man. Don't be scared. Be inspired and be ready.
That's right. Don't be scared. Be inspired and be ready. And stay ready so you ain't even got to get ready.
People used to be happy. You know, people used to be a lot nicer. Not anymore. And that's what makes me think something big is coming. And in the years to come, I believe that I don't know what is coming. A lot of people say the rapture of God is coming. That might be coming. I don't know what's coming, to be exact. But I believe the world, as the years to come, is going to become a very, very dangerous place to be.
Wow. And I believe so too. It's interesting. I see Hebrew Care in the chat says they're closing 180 schools in Philadelphia. Wow. And I've seen that recently. They've listed the Department of Education. They're changing it to the Department of Labor. That's right. They're changing the Department of Education to the Department of Labor. So what it looks like is, I would not doubt in America if all the whole complete school system is shut down at some point, and they just start preparing people to be laborers with no education. I think that they're leaning towards that because, listen, people are waking up, and we're in the information highway. ChatGPT and all the AI can do everybody's homework now. People are since the knowledge is increasing in certain areas, And also a lot of the lies through their replacement theology, a lot of the lies are being broke down historically. A lot of people are waking up. The children of the Most High have broke the codes. So they like, man, let's just throw the whole, I think eventually, man, it might come a time they just throw the whole thing away. Yep. And start just making labor camps. I mean, that's what they've been trying to set up anyway. The school bus is almost like a prison bus. It's like they're setting up some type of internment labor camps in America. They want a prison planet type of situation going on. Exactly. They want a whole FEMA production going on with education nowadays. That, I'm telling you, something crazy going on with that. 180 schools, that's a lot.
This world is going to be a dangerous place to be in. And, this is why you got to be vigilant. You got to be careful, because I believe in the years to come, we hadn't seen nothing yet.
Yep. We haven't seen nothing yet. It's going to become very dangerous out there in America. And also, I believe that a lot of teachers they quit. A lot of teachers quit, man. A lot of the teachers were overwhelmed and underpaid. I mean, it was in one city, I want to say it was in Minnesota, that they were trying to beg teachers to come back and teach. So, I mean, it's crazy. Instead of taking all this government funding and going to ICE to go harass people at airports, they should have gave that money to teachers so they can educate the youth. Crazy.
We haven't really seen a tremendous outbreak yet, but I believe in the years to come, people are going to start lashing out. People are going to start doing things. People are just going to start just wilding out, doing all kind of crazy things.
I mean, people are already doing it. A lot of times when we talk about what's going on, when we look at it, it's already happening. I mean, just this year alone, it's been like 60 mass shootings. Hebrew Care, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. People are already tweaking now. We just had in Louisiana, some babies, 9 children got taken. What was it? About 8 children got taken out. And then these things happen and we don't even get no closure. The media is always running stories that are open ending. Like they leave us with cliffhangers. They leave us in suspense. They never let us know what happened. That creates civil unrest. That creates public distrust. And also people never really get to see the consequences for these type of things. That's why, it's a lot of psychological warfare going on. And the scriptures tell you in Isaiah 24:4, it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languished and fadeth away. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. So when we talk about this decline, it's not just Babylon. We're talking about a global decline, a global imbalance with consequence.
Our house of cards is falling. Yep. We are about to go through it here in the United States. I know everyone feels like they had been fighting and doing that for years now. Like, no. Like, we're about to go through it on like some Depression era going through it type shit. That's what we're about to do. I've said it before. I say it again. If you can, go out and get some rice, go out and get some beans, like figure out ways to take care of yourself medicinally, because
everything, the house.
Absolutely, medicinally. And this is why we promote Hebrew care, get natural remedies. And you got to learn some things, man. Get you a book that educates you on the herbs. Take advantage of some of the shorts algorithms and look at healthy things, because I truly believe that big pharma are going to be shut down. I mean, it's going to get to a point where is not going to be any medical treatment at all for people like that. And when I say that, I mean, the premiums are way too high. You know, they're really not treating people medicinally anymore. And so, you know, you gotta educate yourself in a plethora of ways of survival. You know, yeah, traditional medicine, man, that's another thing. But I don't want to go too far into that. But that's what we need to do.
Like, it's going up, man. The house of cards is falling. It's falling.
Yep, it is.
I'm going to keep this short and simple. You're not going to see this on the news because the government owns the news and the government is lying to you. You need to get prepared right now. You need to get a dry pantry right now. You need to get a solar powered generator right now. Candles, flashlights, batteries, toilet paper. You need to get the necessities right the fuck now. You need to buy seeds that you can plant right fucking now. You need to stock up on ammunition if that's your fucking thing right now. You need access to medication right now. You need to get prepared right now. You are past the point of needing to be ready, okay? We're there. It's coming, okay?
All right, let me, and she's right. You know, there's certain things you got to prepare for. Let me see. This is an interesting comment here. Noah's mommy. That's interesting. So you got a son named Noah. Noah's mommy, 923. That's interesting. I mean, just based on your comment, you having a son named Noah, I just think this is an interesting comment. It says, y'all be so worried about everything. Bro, live your life. It's short. Yay. Yeah, we as a nation may be going through some stuff, but we ain't doing nothing about it. We just sit on social media. Well, Noah's mommy, you may not know who I am or some of the work that I've done in community and community activism. And you may not have really explored my channel, seen land walks. You may not have seen me travel and meet dignitaries in other countries trying to acquire land. The same land that was given to Marcus Garvey actually did acquire it, but the people wasn't ready. So, but that was years ago. So what you're seeing right now is I'm revisiting after more escalations have taken place and now presenting what's going on and what we were warning about for years. And so, and if you listen very carefully, we bring some very tangible solutions. And this is not about fear or worry. It's about changing the perspective. And make no mistake about it. Yeah, you know, ain't nobody over here sitting here afraid, and we all live in our lives. Yeah, we love in life. We live in life. We love in life. Yep. Yeah, a little bit about me. I have Nubreed Global Travel. I have my own travel agency. I travel to various places, various countries. Nobody's not living life. My message is actually, if you listen, and is actually the opposite. You got one life to live, you need to live it. But energetically, you shouldn't be living it around people who don't have your best interests at heart, especially in dire times like now. All right. So I just thought I would clear that up, because you may not know who I am, you know, and you might just be saying that thinking I'm just one of these creators that just sit on here talking. So anyway, let's continue.
fertilizers is shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that is also at risk. And it matters particularly in the southern hemisphere, where the planting and therefore the fertilizers is badly needed now. Because if the price of food increases significantly, it is not going to just be the price of food, it is going to be inflation expectations. Because we know that people are particularly attentive to two things: the price of food, processed and unprocessed, and the price of gas at the petrol station. So if the disruption persists long enough, the adjustment shifts from prices, which we are putting up with now, to possibly rationing, with very different economic consequences. A third of...
Yep, so, until the Strait of Hormuz is open, we are going to keep experiencing this inflation. I mean, it just is what it is. And I'm going to read this comment from Noah's mommy. Noah's mommy says, not you in particular, I'm saying everyone back in the day, our ancestors hit the streets and let their voices be heard. They sparked change through actions. Listen, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I mean, however, that I would say that social media has done a really good job of dividing us. Nowadays, clout and clicks is the new crack. So it's just not back in the day no more. It's just not, But a lot of us we choose to remain rare and set apart. And of course, I can't do it all on my own. And honestly, if I was one of those guys that had millions of dollars and had one of these huge platforms with millions of subscribers and I was getting support, I think those who control the matrix, they know what I would do. They know what I would do. So they kind of give some of us a ceiling that we can reach. That's just how it goes. Some of us who really would be out there talking that talk, which, I could still talk my talk, and you're going to see me doing various initiatives. You're going to see me doing various public meetings. I'm going to be pretty soon, y'all going to see me pulling up to certain podcasts and doing my thing and really chopping it up with different people. But at the end of the day, back in the day, they really didn't have the internet, and we can use it to our advantage. So although, I do believe that you got to do the work, you got to do the work in real life. You got to pull up on people. You got to talk. You got to travel. The Bible says a travel man availeth much wisdom and knowledge. However, the internet, we're going to use that too. That's a tool that we can pump that word out. Right now, I'm sitting in the comfort of my office, and we got over 1,000 people. We're talking with over 1,000 people right now. So, the word still gets out. YK Knight says Nubreed Actions is informing people through internet platforms bigger than street corners yelling. Do research on people. Right. And I like to do the networking, but you ain't gonna see me just on the streets yelling. I ain't gonna go down like that. Let me see. Riri says, I feel your pain. People don't want to hear my ish. But when it goes down, them the same ones who gonna get a cap if they try to invade my storehouse. Read that again. Shh. She said you'll be breaking into the wrong house. She says Second Amendment is mandatory. I can dig it. Divine Kingdom says, amen. We should learn to be minimalists, learn the word, take care of our bodies, health, mental health, get closer to the Lord in Christ, and take care of the ones who really care for us. I love it. I love it. And these are tangible things. These sound like tangible things to prepare for what's coming. That's why it's good to build with like-minded people, because it's still iron sharpening iron. Let me see. Somebody says rationing. They basically go put a limit on how much you can buy, like during a natural disaster. That's definitely some New World Order stuff, right? And that's why, we got to outsource these people, man. We got to have our own food. We got to have our own livestock. Somebody says we got to travel. Matter of fact, speaking of travel, if y'all are interested in a travel business, meaning starting your own travel business and being able to book your own travel as well as the travel of others and get commission off of that instead of the commission going to booking.com or any other travel agency, you can get it yourself. Or if you're interested in just giving it a shot to see if you can get you some supplementary income, something you can do on the side, go to nubreedglobaltruth.com and go ahead and follow the checklist and start you a business in travel. Nubreedglobaltruth.com if you're thinking about starting a business in travel. I'll have a whole list for you, and you can see how you can get involved. And you can just give it a try. If it's not for you, a couple months go by, not even a couple months, you can get a full refund. You don't like it, get a full refund. I believe in everybody trying something. If it's not for you, get yourself a refund, keep it moving. Nothing to it but to do it. But I'm in the travel business. I have an agency and I enjoy it a great deal. Let me see. Somebody said, let's build an empire. Oh, well, we got to start somewhere, right? But sooner, not later, I believe, there's going to be some divine intervention going on. It's going to be some divine intervention because these people can't keep carrying on like this with all this evil. And the consequences got to come. The consequences have to come. And I want to close out with some scriptures, a couple scriptures I want to read. Actually, we're going to go right here. Man. Hosea 4:1. There is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing, they break out. Therefore shall the land mourn. That's what's going on right now. Because there's no real love for the truth. And this is not a situation where America just has problems. Our problems became the world problems. The sister that came in earlier, she said something, our country got problems. No, it's more than just America having problems. America is eroding the whole world. Trying to force democracies when really they're using democracy to hide their imperialism and their colonialism and they're raping, pillaging, destroying, committing genocide all over the world. So it's not just, we just got, we just a land that just got some problems. No, we got more than just problems. In America, the obesity rate is off the chain. Everybody's dying. Marriages don't stick together in America. We got more families are completely destroyed in America. And we have a huge child trafficking problem. So don't think like, we just got some problems, No, I don't. That's the one part of your statement that kind of bothered me a little bit because it's like, no, these are not normal problems, man. These are not normal problems to have that we got all these missing women and children. That's not normal. Yeah, and America goes around and creates problems for everyone. This is the only country that dropped a nuke on somebody in Hiroshima. That's it's not just a country with problems. Like, oh, we got problems like everybody else. No, we got different problems. We got different kind of problems. We got problems where our government is being ran by a satanic cabal that actually cannibalize children. So when you put it that way, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a little bit much. Like, this ain't just like normal problems. Like, you're living in a country where all of the Hollywood elite have to swear a satanic oath, and they're all brainwashing the youth. We got big problems in America. This ain't just people like, if you hate America so much, won't you leave? You think that as a whole, you think people ain't trying to leave? I'm already passport ready, but if it ain't time to go, it ain't time to go. We all be in situations we don't want to be in sometimes. That's what they say. If you don't, and then another thing is, why do we find a need? And I'm not talking about all of us. Why do people find a need to defend America? Why? It's like, what has programmed us to defend the same system that oppresses us? That part I just don't understand. Maybe low key, people really want to hold on to the sickness. I like to call it the sickness. Maybe people don't want to let go. Maybe it's I don't know, what's it called when you're afraid to leave something? It's a syndrome. Somebody said we get force-fed patriotism. Yeah. Stockholm syndrome. That's what it's called. Stockholm. I mean, think about it. What if you were able to travel and you discover that life outside of this place is a whole lot better, like a whole lot? What if you discovered that food actually can be good for you? Matter of fact, let me show you something. Just speaking on that, just to show you how far gone that we are becoming in America. Just basic. I'm talking about just basic stuff, y'all. It's basic stuff that it's just, you can't unsee it. Hold on. I had this one video I want to share with y'all real quick. And it was like showing people in New York about in the 30s. Well, maybe I didn't save that. But if you just look at the people, man, it was crazy. One moment. Let me see if I can find this joint. Oh, here you go, right here.
Wow, this is crazy. Look at the difference between people in New York in 1930 and people on the street in New York in 2024. The 1930 video, everyone is fit, everyone looks healthy. Obviously it's colorized, but it looks like a freaking CrossFit convention in 1930. People are fit, they're healthy, they look vibrant, they're skinny by today's standards. People in New York on the street in 2024, we don't look as healthy today, and this is sad. I mean, there's a lot of obese people now. Almost 100 years ago, we were so much healthier as a population. What changed?
I mean, even this, we're just not, like, as a population, we've fallen off, man. Like, in every way, our health, our minds, Everything, bro. Like, what if you were to travel and realize that there's other places in the world where it's not so difficult to stay healthy because of all of the chemicals and products, all of the metals and everything that they put in the foods. I'm just saying. And having some mass on you doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy. But the point that I'm making is it just shows you how bread and circus changed people, changed us as a whole within time. Because you can be skinny and be sick. You can be lean and still have problems because of what's in the air. You know what I'm saying? So it's a plethora of things. But anyway, I don't know, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to come through, keep y'all informed. And of course, we got more material coming. I want everybody to like, share. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We got much more material coming. Support the work. Nubreed Global Truth is the Cash App. NubreedGlobalTruth.com is the website. And supportHebrewCare.com as well. One love to y'all. Thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate y'all's time.